Hello, and welcome back to Daily Talk Lessons.
I'm so happy to start today's episode with you. Travel is one of my favorite topics because it makes life exciting. Even small trips can make us feel new emotions. Today, we will talk about travel for beginners in simple English. I hope this podcast will help you learn new words and enjoy the conversation. So, let's start this journey together with a big smile.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I feel excited too because travel always brings great stories. Even when trips are simple, they teach us something important. Today, our goal is to speak in easy English for all beginner learners. We want you to feel relaxed and comfortable while listening. So sit back, take a breath, and enjoy the start of our travel adventure.
Travel makes me feel alive because it opens my mind. When I visit new places, I see new cultures and people, and I learn something every time. Even small things like trying different food make me happy. I think traveling helps us understand the world better and become kinder. Sometimes I feel nervous before a trip, but after I arrive, I feel excited again. I also love taking photos during my trips because they help me remember beautiful moments.
I agree with you, Anna, because travel also gives me a fresh feeling. When I go to a new city or country, I feel like my life becomes bigger. I love learning simple words in the local language because it helps me talk to people. Even if I don't speak perfectly, people usually smile and help me. Travel also teaches me patience, especially when flights are late or buses take long. But in the end, the experience is always worth it.
One reason I love travel is the freedom it gives me. When I walk in a new place, I feel like anything is possible. I enjoy looking at buildings, nature, and small streets because everything feels different from home. I also like meeting friendly people who share their stories with me. Sometimes I travel alone and sometimes with friends, and both feel special in their own way. Traveling always gives me positive memories that stay with me for a long time.
For me, travel brings energy and inspiration. When I return home after a trip, I feel more creative. I get many ideas for my work and life. I enjoy trying local food, especially street food, because it shows the real culture of a place. I also like visiting museums and learning about history. Even simple things like riding a train in a new country feel interesting. Travel helps me remember that the world is bigger than my daily routine.
I think traveling also helps people grow. When we are in a new place, we must solve problems like finding our hotel or reading a map. These moments make us stronger and more confident. I remember one trip when I got lost, but a kind local person helped me find my way. Experiences like that make travel meaningful. They show that people around the world can be warm and friendly. This is why I always want to travel again and again.
Yes, that's very true. I also think travel teaches us flexibility because plans can change. One time, my travel plan changed because of heavy rain, but I found a small cafe and had a great time there. Sometimes unexpected moments become the best memories. I also love the feeling of discovering something new, like a hidden street or a nice park. Travel makes me appreciate little things, such as fresh air or quiet mornings. Every trip gives me something new to think about.
Another thing I enjoy is preparing for a trip. Packing my bag and choosing my clothes makes me excited. I like writing a small list of places I want to visit. Even if I can't see everything, I still feel happy because every part of the trip is a learning moment. I also check the weather and plan comfortable shoes because walking is important when traveling. The preparation makes me feel organized and ready for adventure.
I also enjoy the preparation part. I like reading short travel guides because they give me useful information. I sometimes watch simple videos to learn what the city looks like. Packing is fun too, especially when I prepare my camera or notebook. I like writing notes during my trips to remember special moments. Planning helps me feel calm, but I also try to stay open to surprises. Travel is a mix of organization and unexpected joy.
Travel is also emotional for me. I feel excited when the airplane takes off. I feel curious when I walk in a new city. I feel peaceful when I see the sea or mountains. Sometimes I feel a little tired, but that's normal when exploring. At the end of the trip, I feel grateful for everything I experienced. All these emotions make travel unforgettable.
Yes, emotions are a big part of travel. I feel happy when I meet new people and hear different languages around me. I feel relaxed when I sit in a park and watch the life of the city. I feel proud when I manage to communicate with locals using simple English. Sometimes I also feel nervous, but it quickly goes away when I start enjoying the place. Travel brings a mix of feelings, and that makes it special. Every emotion becomes part of the story.
Sometimes I think travel is like opening a new book. Each place has its own story waiting for us. When I walk in a new city, I feel curious about the people and their daily lives. I like watching how they greet each other, how they buy food, and how they enjoy their free time. These small moments teach me a lot about culture. I think travel helps us understand that people are different, but also very similar. It makes the world feel connected.
That is a beautiful way to describe travel. I also think each place is like a story we can read and feel. When I walk around, I notice small details like shops, signs, and smells. These things help me understand the spirit of the city. I enjoy sitting in a cafe and listening to people talk because it feels real. Sometimes I don't understand their language, but I enjoy the sound of it. Travel makes everyday life feel special again.
One thing that always surprises me is how kind people can be when I travel. Many times, strangers helped me when I needed directions. Even when we didn't speak the same language, we still understood each other with smiles and gestures. It makes me feel warm inside and thankful. These moments show me that kindness exists everywhere. I always try to help other travelers too, because I know how important it can be. This is why I always want to travel again and again.
Yes, that's very true. I also think travel teaches us flexibility because plans can change. One time, my travel plan changed because of heavy rain, but I found a small cafe and had a great time there. Sometimes unexpected moments become the best memories. I also love the feeling of discovering something new, like a hidden street or a nice park. Travel makes me appreciate little things, such as fresh air or quiet mornings. Every trip gives me something new to think about.
I also enjoy visiting nature when I travel. Mountains, forests, beaches, each one gives a different emotion. When I stand on a mountain, I feel strong and free. When I walk near the sea, I feel calm and peaceful. Nature helps me relax and forget stress. I think many people travel because they want to feel this peace.
Nature is a big part of travel for me too. I love walking on quiet paths and hearing the sound of birds or water. It helps me clear my mind and breathe better. Sometimes simple moments like watching a sunset feel more powerful than any big attraction. I also take many nature photos because I want to remember the beauty. Nature shows us how big and beautiful the world is. Traveling to natural places always refreshes my energy.
Another thing I like is learning about local traditions. Even small traditions like morning routines or evening markets can be interesting. I enjoy watching how people celebrate holidays or prepare special foods. These traditions make each place unique. I also try to respect local customs because I want people to feel comfortable with me. Learning traditions is like learning the heart of a place. It makes the travel deeper and more meaningful.
Yes, traditions are wonderful to explore. I once visited a town that had a small music festival, and I joined people dancing in the street. I didn't know the steps, but everyone was friendly and helped me. It became one of my best memories. I also enjoy learning short phrases like thank you or hello because it shows respect. Traditions show us how people connect with each other. They make travel feel richer and more colorful.
Planning a trip is always exciting for me because it feels like starting the journey early. I usually begin by choosing the destination that makes me feel curious or happy. Then I check simple information about weather, food, and transportation. I like making a small list of places I want to visit so I don't forget anything. Planning helps me feel more relaxed during the trip. But I also leave some free time for surprises because unexpected moments are the best. For me, planning is like drawing the first map of the adventure.
I also enjoy planning because it gives me a clear idea of what to expect. First, I check the flight or train prices so I can choose the best option. Then, I look for a simple hotel in a safe and comfortable area. I also search for basic information, like how to get from the airport to the city. Planning helps me avoid stress when I arrive. I like reading short travel tips from other travelers, too. Good planning makes the whole trip feel smoother and easier.
Choosing the place to stay is very important to me. I like small hotels or guest houses because they feel cozy. I don't need anything fancy, just a clean room and a friendly atmosphere. Sometimes I read reviews to understand what other travelers think. A good location saves a lot of time and energy. I prefer staying close to public transport so I can move easily. A comfortable place makes the travel experience better.
I agree that the place to stay makes a big difference. I often choose simple hostels when I travel alone because it's easy to meet new people there. When I travel for relaxation, I choose quieter hotels. I usually check photos to see what the rooms look like. I also look for breakfast options because starting the day with good food feels nice. A safe and convenient location is always my first priority. A good room helps me feel rested after long days of exploring.
Packing is another part of planning that I enjoy. I always try to pack light because carrying heavy bags makes traveling difficult. I choose comfortable clothes that I can wear in different ways. I also bring a small travel bottle for shampoo and lotion. I never forget my phone charger and a small first aid kit. Packing carefully helps me feel ready for anything. It makes me feel calm before the trip starts.
I also try to pack light, but sometimes I pack too much without noticing. I always start by choosing the most important items, like clothes, documents, and toiletries. I bring a small notebook to write memories or plans. I also pack a reusable water bottle because staying hydrated is important. My favorite thing to pack is my camera because I love taking pictures. Packing well helps me move easily and enjoy the trip more.
I think transportation in a new city can be both fun and confusing. Sometimes I take buses or trains, and I enjoy watching the city through the window. I use simple maps or apps to find the right direction. When I travel on foot, I discover small shops and cafes that I didn't plan to see. Getting lost can be a little scary, but it often leads to beautiful places. I try to stay relaxed and enjoy the moment. Transportation becomes part of the travel story.
Transportation is interesting for me too, because every city feels different. Some places have fast subways, while others have slow buses. I try to understand how local people move around because it helps me feel like part of the city. I sometimes rent a bicycle because it's fun and healthy. When I don't know the direction, I ask locals for help, and they are usually very kind. Using public transport teaches me patience and flexibility. It also makes travel feel more local and real.
Budget is also important when I plan a trip. I try to save money by choosing simple accommodations and eating local food. I avoid expensive tourist restaurants because small local places feel more authentic and cheaper. I like walking instead of taking taxis because it saves money and lets me explore more. I also set a daily budget so I don't spend too much. Travel doesn't need to be expensive to be fun. A smart budget makes the trip more enjoyable.
I also make a budget when I travel because it helps me feel in control. I usually divide my expenses into food, transportation, and activities. I look for free or low-cost attractions like parks, markets, or museums. Sometimes I spend a little more on something special, like a local show or a good meal. But most of the time, I try to keep things simple. A good budget helps me travel longer and feel less stressed. It's a helpful skill for every traveler.
When I plan a trip, I also think about the people I might meet. I love meeting travelers from different countries because they have interesting stories. I enjoy sharing travel tips with them and learning about their culture. Sometimes we take photos together or eat at the same restaurant. These small connections make travel feel warm and friendly. You never know who you might meet on the road. Meeting people is like discovering new worlds.
Meeting people is one of my favorite parts of traveling. I like talking to locals because they always know the best places to visit. Sometimes I meet travelers who become good friends and we stay in touch even after the trip. These connections make the journey more colorful. I enjoy hearing different accents and learning small phrases from other languages. Meeting people helps me understand the world better. Travel feels richer shared with others.
Another important part of planning a trip is learning a few simple words in the local language. Even basic words like hello, thank you, and please can make communication easier. People appreciate it when travelers try to speak their language. It shows respect and interest in their culture. I also find it that it creates friendly moments with locals. They often smile when I try to say something, even if I say it incorrectly. Learning simple phrases makes travel more enjoyable.
I feel the same way about learning local words because it creates warm connections. Sometimes just saying good morning in the local language makes people kinder and more open. It also helps when ordering food or buying tickets. I don't try to learn many words, only the useful ones. The goal is not to be perfect, but to communicate in a friendly way. People usually appreciate the effort. It makes the travel experience more personal.
I also think about safety when I plan a trip. I check basic information like safe areas and local advice. I always keep my important documents in a small bag close to me. At night, I try to stay in busy or well-lit streets. I also share my travel plans with a friend or family member. Safety helps me feel confident and relaxed. It allows me to enjoy the trip without worries.
Safety is something every traveler should think about. I also check local rules and emergency numbers before I go. I try not to carry too much cash, and I use a small lock for my backpack. When I'm in a new place, I pay attention to my surroundings. Most places are safe, but it's good to be careful. Good preparation helps avoid problems. Feeling safe makes the whole journey more comfortable.
Travel always feels special when I experience something new for the first time. I remember the first time I traveled alone, and I felt excited and nervous at the same time. The airport felt big, but I followed the signs and everything was okay. When I arrived, I saw new lights, new streets, and new people, and it was amazing. I realized that I was more confident than I thought. Moments like that make travel powerful. They help me learn more about myself.
I know exactly what you mean, because new experiences make a trip unforgettable. I once visited a country where everything felt different. The food, the culture, even the weather. At first, I felt confused, but soon I started enjoying every moment. Trying new things made me feel alive. I learned to be more open and curious. Travel teaches us to accept differences and enjoy them. These experiences stay in my heart forever.
One of my favorite experiences during travel is discovering small, hidden places. Sometimes I walk without a plan and find beautiful streets or quiet parks. These places are not famous, but they feel special. I love sitting there, listening to the sounds around me. I enjoy watching local people living their daily life. These simple moments make me feel connected to the city. They remind me that beauty can be found anywhere.
I also love finding hidden places because they show the real personality of a city. I once found a small bakery on a quiet street, and it became my favorite place on that trip. The smell of fresh bread was amazing. I talked to the owner, and he told me about the history of the shop. These small interactions make travel meaningful. They are simple, but they touch your heart. Hidden places often create the best memories.
Another great experience is trying new activities while traveling. I once tried kayaking in a small lake, and it was so peaceful. I felt nervous at first, but then I started enjoying the smooth movement of the water. Sometimes I try local dances or simple art workshops. These activities help me understand the culture in a fun way. I always remember the joy I felt while learning something new. Activities bring color to every trip.
I also enjoy trying new activities because they make the trip more exciting. I once joined a cooking class and I learned how to make traditional dishes. It was fun and delicious. I also like hiking when I visit nature places because the fresh air feels good. Sometimes I join a local sports game just to watch and cheer. These activities make the trip lively and memorable. They help me meet new people too.
Meeting people during travel is one of the best parts of the journey. I enjoy talking to travelers because they have different stories and ideas. Sometimes we only meet for a few hours, but the conversations stay with me. I also like meeting locals because they can tell me things I cannot find online. Their smiles and kindness make me feel welcome. People make every place feel alive. Without them, travel would not be the same.
I agree completely, because people give meaning to our travels. I once met a traveler who became a good friend, and we still talk today. We shared food, stories, and laughs during that trip. I also meet locals who give great tips on places to visit. Sometimes even a short conversation in a cafe can brighten my day. Travel brings people together in surprising ways. It makes the world feel smaller and friendlier.
One thing that always surprises me is how different life feels in every country. Some places are quiet and slow, while others are busy and full of energy. I enjoy watching how people start their mornings or spend their evenings. I learn a lot by observing their habits. It makes me think about my own lifestyle. Travel helps me appreciate the small things in life. It opens my eyes to new ways of living.
Yes, every country has a different rhythm. I remember visiting a city where people enjoyed long afternoon breaks and it felt relaxing. In another city, people walked fast and talked quickly, and it felt exciting. These differences teach me that there is no one right way to live. I enjoy learning from each place I visit. It helps me understand the world better. Travel shows us many beautiful lifestyles.
Food is also an exciting part of the travel experience. I love trying new dishes because each bite tells a story about the culture. Even simple meals taste different and interesting. I enjoy going to local markets where people sell fresh fruits and snacks. Sometimes I try something unexpected and discover a new favorite food. Eating local dishes makes me feel part of the country. Food always brings joy to my travels.
Food is like a delicious adventure for me. I love tasting dishes I have never seen before. Sometimes I ask people to recommend something special on the menu. I also like watching how food is prepared because it shows tradition. Street food is my favorite because it is cheap, fast, and full of flavor. Trying new tastes makes travel exciting. Every meal becomes a memory.
I also enjoy the emotions that come during a trip. Sometimes I feel excited when I see something beautiful. Sometimes I feel calm when I sit in nature. Sometimes I feel surprised when I learn something new. These emotions make the trip feel alive. They help me grow and understand myself better. Travel is not just about places, it's also about feelings.
You're right. Emotions are a big part of every journey. I feel happy when I meet new people or see amazing views. I feel peaceful when I watch sunsets or walk near water. Sometimes I feel proud when I solve a problem in a new place. These emotions create strong memories. They shape the story of the trip. Travel touches both the mind and the heart.
Today's conversation made me feel very happy because travel is such a beautiful topic. I enjoyed talking about new places, new people, and all the emotions we feel on the journey. Travel teaches us so much, even when the trip is simple or short. I hope our listeners feel inspired to explore the world, even if they start with small adventures. You don't need a big budget or long vacation to enjoy travel. You just need curiosity and an open heart. Thank you for joining us today on this warm and friendly travel journey.
I also had a great time talking about travel today, and I hope our listeners learned something useful. Travel helps us grow, relax, and understand the world better. It brings unforgettable moments and wonderful memories. Even a short trip to a nearby city can feel special. I hope everyone listening feels encouraged to plan their own journey soon. Thank you for spending your time with us, and we look forward to having you in our next episode. Until then, take care and keep exploring.